In the quiet village of Umuma, there lived a woman named Ezin, known for her beauty, wisdom, and fiery temper. She had one daughter, Adaobi, a gentle and kind girl who loved to help everyone in the village. The two lived in a small hut near the big Iroko tree that stood at the center of the village square. Ezin had once been happily married to a brave hunter named Nkem. But one fateful day, Nkem went into the forest and never returned. People whispered that he was taken by the forest spirits because he had trespassed into their sacred land. Ezin was heartbroken, and her sadness turned into anger at the world. She became strict with Adaobi and often warned her to stay away from the forest. Adaobi, Ezin would say, her voice sharp like the cut of a blade, "You must never go into the forest. The spirits will not forgive us if you make the same mistake as your father." Adaobi nodded each time but secretly longed to see the forest. She had heard from the other children about its wonders, streams as clear as glass, birds with feathers like rainbows, and flowers that glowed at night. But she dared not disobey her mother. One day, the village chief, Chief Uchenna, summoned everyone to the square. His younger son, Chike, had fallen ill, and no healer could cure him. The chief's voice trembled as he spoke. "The diviner has told me there is only one cure. A flower called the moon blossom grows deep in the forest. We need someone brave enough to fetch it. But be warned, the forest is full of danger." The villagers murmured in fear. No one wanted to go into the forest, not after what had happened to Nkem. But Adaobi looked at Chike, lying weak on a mat, and her heart ached. She couldn't bear to see anyone suffer, especially someone as kind as Chike, who always shared his roasted corn with her. "I will go," Adaobi said, stepping forward. The villagers gasped, and Chief Uchenna frowned. "Are you sure, child? The forest is no place for the faint-hearted." "I'm sure," Adaobi replied, her voice steady. "I will bring back the moon blossom." When Ezin heard what her daughter had agreed to do, her anger burned like a wildfire. "Adaobi, have you lost your mind? Did I not tell you never to go into the forest?" "But Mama," Adaobi said softly, "Chike needs help. If I don't go, he might die." Ezin's face softened for a moment, but then she shook her head fiercely. "No. You will not risk your life. I forbid it." Adaobi knew her mother's wrath was out of love, but she also knew she couldn't ignore her heart. That night, when the moon was high in the sky, she slipped out of the hut with a small basket and a lantern. She whispered, "I'm sorry, Mama," before heading toward the forest. The forest was even more magical than Adaobi had imagined. Fireflies lit up the trees like tiny stars, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers. But it was also eerie. Shadows danced between the trees, and strange noises echoed around her. As she walked deeper into the forest, she saw glowing flowers blooming on a high rock. "The moon blossom," she exclaimed, her heart racing with hope. But just as she reached out to pluck one, a deep growl rumbled behind her. Adaobi turned slowly and saw a giant leopard with eyes that glowed like amber. It was the guardian of the moon blossom. The leopard growled, "Why have you come to take what is not yours, child?" Adaobi trembled but stood her ground. "Please, great leopard, I need the moon blossom to save someone's life. I mean no harm." The leopard's eyes narrowed. "The forest spirits do not give gifts freely. You must prove yourself worthy." Before Adaobi could ask how, a voice echoed through the trees. "Adaobi." It was Ezin. She had followed her daughter into the forest, her anger burning brighter than ever. "What are you doing here?" Ezin demanded, stepping in front of Adaobi. "I told you never to come here." The leopard growled again, and Ezin froze. "Who are you to enter the sacred forest?" it asked. "I am her mother," Ezin said, her voice trembling. "She is just a child. If anyone must face your wrath, it should be me." The leopard looked at Ezin and then at Adaobi. A mother's wrath and a daughter's love. Both are powerful, but only one can break the curse of this forest. The leopard stepped aside and motioned to the moon blossom. Choose wisely. Take the flower if you dare, but know that every choice has a cost. Adaobi and Ezin exchanged a glance. Neither knew what the leopard's warning meant, but Adaobi's hands trembled as she reached for the flower.